All right, guys, welcome back for episode 73. This is the second half of our conversation. We're going to jump into our talk about summer gaming, stuff that our kids and our families are doing this summer, as well as what games we plan on playing. So here we go.
Who is your daddy? I am your father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?
All right, well, it is time to talk about summer gaming. So we are at the end of May. Technically, for some people, they consider May the quote-unquote summertime, has begun. A lot of schools are getting out. A lot of big summer movies have already been released. We've already seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and King Arthur and Alien is out now. And so some of these big blockbusters are dropping in the theaters. I still consider June, July, August as summertime for gaming. Are you on the same page with that, or do you consider May to be kind of summertime
No,
too?
June. Late May,
Okay.
late May,
Yeah,
early June. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason I've always just divided it up in real clean quarters. So it's like November, December, January is winter. Actually, no, December, January, February is winter. March, April, May is spring. June, July, August is summer. September, October, November is fall. That's how I've always thought about it, as I think about the quarters in terms of game releases at least.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we're only talking about games that were released in June, July, or August. I'm sorry, that are going to be released in June, July, or August. And it's something that you and I had texted about where it's, let's talk about what we're doing this summer for gaming.
Yeah.
So before we get into the actual games that are coming out and maybe some games that we want to pick to try to knock off of our lists, what are your general summer plans before we talk about what game stuff? Do you guys have big stuff coming up this summer? Or do you foresee that your gaming time is going to be kind of invaded a little bit with some stuff?
Not right now. We're not planning any type of trip or anything like that. I know in late May, my wife and the kids, not me, because actually once we moved into this house, I canceled my Universal Studio pass because I never use it. But they're going to Orlando for a few days. And they're going to go to Universal Studios, so I might go up there and hang out in Orlando because I have that Monday off. I think it's May 29th. I have that off, so I might go up there Sunday and Monday and just hang out. And then when they go to Universal, I'll just leave and go home. But that's about it. Nothing planned for June, July, and August. Usually early September, I'm always going to Rock the Universe at Universal Studios, so I take the youth group there. So that's kind of my trip or whatever.
Is Lincoln Park going to be there? Or?
I really hope so, because what I plan to do is I'm actually trying to book at my church Lincoln Park with Scott Stapp, and then and then I'm gonna surprise the love of my life, Daniel Fredos, with a special front seat backstage passes to that show. And by the way, Linkin Park can only play tracks from their new album. They're not going to play any of the old stuff. Scott Stapp can literally do whatever he wants because he's Scott Stapp. So yeah, I think
Scott's freaking Stapp, man.
Yeah, that's Scott Stapp. So I think it'll be a good time with Daniel. Him and I will hang out and enjoy that concert.
I love that recently Daniel was complaining that he wasn't mentioned on the show at all, and now he's just getting mentions like crazy. It's just Daniel.
I
Daniel
like
every
to
episode
troll
from now
him, and like you've said before, him and I have similar personalities. So, and I don't know if you saw this, but I had something pop up on my Facebook, and this was like 2 months ago, and it was like Scott Stapp live in Orlando or something like that, and I was like, oh yeah, and so I tagged Daniel in this. I was like, can't wait to go with you, Daniel, and so he responded back like, how he always does, basically calling Scott Stapp garbage, trash, and all that stuff. And then like 2 months later, it popped up again, and so I reminded him again. I tagged him again. I was like, Daniel, you get your tickets yet? Can't wait to go, man.
You and me, buddy.
Can't wait, man. Now I'm gonna book Linkin Park with him as well, so that'll be great.
Lucky guy. What a lucky guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Do you guys send your kids to any kind of camps and stuff? The reason I'm asking is because my wife just recently was planning out the summer of, okay, they're going to go to this church event this week, and then we've got this school thing over here. And then like last summer, we took Kale to it was like some kind of local community park thing where he could go on these hikes and learn about insects and whatever else. So we're planning out their summer where at least a half a day most weeks, some of our 5 kids are going to be out doing something. There's some weeks where all 5 of them will be like at at some kind of camp or something. But for the most part, maybe 2 this week and then 3 the following week, whatever. They'll be going to different things. So we're planning that out right now just to kind of give ourselves a little bit of a break throughout the summer, my wife in particular. What about you? What are you guys doing with your kids? Anything? They go camps, sports, something?
Yeah, we both work, so we have a like summer camp at the rec, and it's actually at the rec where we do all our soccer and stuff. So we signed up all 3 of them for that. Now the first week of summer, the summer camp does not watch the kids, so I took work off. So like starting June 1st, I'm gonna be out of work for like 11 days total, and that's including weekends. So I'm taking like 7 business days off. So that will be fun for me, but I am gonna be stuck with my 3 Rugrats. But Ian's like all excited, he's like, Dad, when you're on vacation, we can go to the gym like every day. He's like all excited about working out.
Nice.
I'm like, all right,
That's good.
we'll do it. And then in August, I think I took another, maybe just a week or another 2 weeks. I'll have to check. I think it's just a week. I'm taking like their last week off because again, they don't have summer camp. But other than that, in the middle, they're doing that summer camp, and then I think Ian's doing a couple soccer camps outside of that with his soccer teammates. So that keeps the cost down a little bit because we did one year a bunch of different camps, and it was costing me 100, 150 a week for just Ian. And I'm
it
like,
gets expensive.
No. Yeah, whereas this, I think the whole summer for all 3 of them is like $1,000, maybe a little more.
Okay.
But that's not
That
bad.
could be way worse.
Yeah, when you're talking about 6 or 7 weeks of care for 3 kids. This is why I wish Emily was a sweeter girl and a little bit more mature, because I would like for her to be able to stay home and take care of her 2 brothers and not have to worry about her going psycho and like beating the crap out of them. And if she was more like how Ian was, then that would save me $1,000 because I'd be like, you guys can just stay home. And I trust you.
But she's more like her father, so...
Yeah, she's an angry little baby. So, no, not happening.
Angry little baby.
She does.
That's adorable.
She will literally... We were in the car the other day in the morning, and she was literally swinging her fists at Ian's face. And I was like, unbelievable. You are unbelievable. That beautiful little face. In case people don't know, Ian has my face. You don't freaking touch Ian's face. It's gorgeous. And she was swinging at his face. I wanted to knock her out. She's
so cold.
She's
cold
pretty
heart.
too, but she doesn't have my exact face. Ian has my face.
Yeah, I'm going to refrain from commenting there. Hey, so so for those of you who are listening now, chances are pretty good that you're listening to episode 73 now.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm going to split this. I'm going to split this in half. I'm going to be moving. So as you're listening to this, we will be in between houses. We'll be back at this house where I'm sitting right now. We'll be in here, caulking all the whatever damage we've done to the walls. We have kids, so there's all sorts of stuff on the walls. We got nail holes. We've hung up some pictures. We got to fill all that in and clean up, and then we will be setting up at the new place. So this will give me a nice kind of week off to be able to get all that done, and then we'll come back and really gear up for E3 after that. So this is 73 right now, if you haven't figured that out already. And so that's what's happening. That's why there's no current news. If something big was announced, between basically in the last week of May here, we don't know about it yet. So we're not talking about that right now. We'll talk about that next
I don't
week.
think anybody comes to us for news. I think they come to us for dumb opinions and just stupid talking and bantering.
And that face over there. Look at that face. I mean,
come on. Emily, don't touch your brother. He's got a gorgeous face like his father. Don't touch it.
That's awesome. I hope you tell her that too. That'll make a 13-year-old girl feel great about herself.
She actually has she actually looks like me too. She's really cute, but whatever. It's enough about my daughter.
Yeah, that is enough. All right, enough,
Derek.
enough. All right, so this summer there are some big games coming out. It's funny, the last time that there was a major game released right before the summer season, for me at least, was The Witcher 3. It came out on May 19th or 18th. It was towards the end of May,
It was May
and that was
19th.
my summer
Yeah.
game. Was it 19th? Yeah, that was my summer game, and that took up like, all my time. Rocket League came out that year as well, and was a nice kind of cap to the end of the summer. It took up most of July and August, and every month since then. But that was a really great summer of gaming. Last summer, I remember going back and playing Blood and Wine, so it was yet another Witcher 3 summer, but it didn't feel like a new game summer. It wasn't really a new game that rolled out that I was really, lost in. And from the way things are shaping up this summer, I am yet again not sure that there is that major, major game that's dropping at the end of May or June that's going to carry me through these summer months. I think there's some backlog stuff and there's some fun multiplayer, kind of more casual stuff that I'll be excited to play. It's not until we get to late August that there's finally a major game that I'm pumped about. So that's
Yeah.
how I'm looking at this summer. What about you compared to previous summers? Is this shaping up so far like this could be a major summer for you, or are you thinking same as me? It's a little lacking.
Yeah, because like I have my spreadsheet, and so what I do is I mark all the games that are coming out, and then I mark whether I'm going, like I'll highlight if it's one that I'm wanting to get, and then once I do pre-order it, I mark it as pre-ordered. For the summer, right now, and I don't know if you want me to wait on this. There's only a few games until we get to August that I have any interest in.
All right, we'll
Um,
go through the list and we'll talk about
yeah,
that in a minute.
but to get on to what my plans are, my plan right now in my head doesn't mean I'll stick to it. Is to kind of just, I mean, I've been kind of slowly going through things. Like I'm taking a long time with Zelda, which is not normal for me. What I normally do is try to rush through games, finish the story, and say I beat it. And I'm purposely not doing that with Zelda. And then I still got The Witcher 3 going and stuff like that. So I think my plan for the summer is maybe buy less. That's why I'm kind of on the fence about ARMS, and focus on beating Zelda. Focus on finishing The Witcher 3 for the second time. Maybe beat The Surge.
There you
Definitely
go.
beat
Yeah.
Injustice 2. I'm definitely beating that.
What about Nier? Is that a game you
That's what I
see
was
yourself
just gonna
playing?
say. Nier is on
Yeah.
my. I have a. You know how we create those folders. I have a currently
Yep.
playing folder. Nier is in that folder. I
Okay,
would
so you
like.
haven't moved it out. So you played it a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's not like you've moved on completely.
No, it's one of those I'm gonna continue to jump back into because I am intrigued enough. And um, it doesn't sound like it's that long. It sounds like I was talking to Jose on Facebook, and he was saying that he completed 2 playthroughs. Now you really are supposed to complete, I think, 3 playthroughs, but he completed 2 in 17 hours. That's not bad. That's like 8.5 hours per playthrough. That's not bad at all. So it's definitely reasonable to get through at least 1 playthrough. And I imagine with all the feedback that we've gotten, is once you get through that first playthrough, you want to continue it. So the story is good enough that you would want to keep playing it. So yeah, Nier's on that list. Yakuza 0 is still one that I want to jump
Oh, yeah.
into.
That's right.
I just picked up yesterday the new Fire Emblem Echoes. Yeah, I haven't
Oh, you
talked about that
did.
yet.
Nice.
So I would like to put some time in that. So yeah, I have enough games, and since my goal is to finish everything that I buy, if I like it, if I don't like it, then I don't like it. Then I don't really need to buy a lot of these games. So as we go through it,
Gotcha.
I'll explain. Plus, I do want to give a shout out. I know one of your points here is a backlog game of 1+ year old. One of them that I wouldn't mind going back into this summer if I can find time, is that I haven't completed, because The Witcher 3 would qualify, but I have completed it. Would be I'm really wanting to play Mad Max. You've really sold me on it. Yes, I've played it several hours, but I really think my big issue with Mad Max was while I was still enjoying it, I would get frustrated when I would die, and then I'd had no desire to like drive all the way back over there.
Yep.
I think it's just one of those games where I need to learn the systems and learn everything a little bit better than I did before. And I think once I get that, I could probably end up getting hooked, because it sounds
Okay.
like with the way you can upgrade your character and stuff, it's everything that I'm liking about video games right now. So that's one of them.
Yeah. I think you'll enjoy it. I mean, it's always possible that you'll get to those upgrades and say, yeah, still not having fun. And then, of course, don't waste your time on it anymore.
I think I'll like it because I like the combat, and the thing I liked the most about it was the car. I liked the car combat. I loved the way it felt driving in the desert. I thought it was fun. So all that stuff I liked. It was just for me, I think it was one of those, and I know Kyle said this too. Both Mad Max and Metal Gear Solid 5 released at the same time. And I tried
same
to
day, I think.
yes, and I tried to jump into both of them. And if you remember, I ended up not liking both of them. Well, I gave Metal Gear Solid 5 another shot, and the reason I did it is because I gave it an honest shot this time where I actually learned the systems, tried to pay attention to what the game was telling me and get better at it. And once I did that, I was hooked. It's one of my favorite games that I've played this generation. So I'm not saying Mad Max will be that way, but I do think if I get better at it, I say, or like we always say, get good at it, I'll probably end up being on the show saying, "Oh, I really love Mad Max, so good," blah blah blah. So that's one of them I'd like to go back to.
All right, so yeah, that's kind of the structure that I wanted us to talk about for the summer, and that is, it's not like 4 in February, so it's not like a challenge that you have to complete. But if you had to pick one of each, so let's say you're going to definitely complete 3 games this summer. Who knows what else you'll do in between? Maybe you'll complete a bunch. But if you definitely have to finish at least one backlog game, and let's call that 1 year old or more, so it's been out since at least, let's say, April of 2016 or earlier, and then one more recent game, so that was out within the last year, sometime within the last 12 months, then which of those would you pick? And then we'll go through here in a few minutes. We'll go through all the upcoming summer. No, I shouldn't say all. We'll go through a bunch of the notable summer releases. There's no way we can go through all of them because there's a bunch of weird stuff that's coming out too. We'll just go through some of the bigger names and the notable games. So for your backlog game, would you say that Mad Max is one that you're targeting, or is there a different one that you're looking at for the summer? If you had to pick one older backlog game,
I would say if I had to pick one that I want to play that's over a year old, it would probably be Mad Max right now. Will I say I'm going to do it? I don't know. With all these other games, I would rather focus on them. And then if I have time or if I'm in the mood for Mad Max, yeah, that would be my backlog game, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, for me, I'm torn between 2 games that are older than a year old that I never finished. Batman Arkham Knight is one I got pretty far into, but then just pulled the plug on it and never finished it. So I want to go back and play through that again, and I probably will just start from the beginning and just go through that whole game. So I'd like to go back and play Arkham Knight. I do like the Arkham games. So it's either that one or Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. I also want to go back and play through that. I thought that was the DLC, the follow-up to Wolfenstein. I've heard it plays like pretty much its own standalone game. I've heard it's a lot of fun. Maybe not as good as the base game, but still really good. So I'm torn, but I think I'll go with Batman Arkham Knight will be the one I'm going to target for the summer. I tried it 2 years ago when it came out, enjoyed it, but I didn't really get into it. So there you go. Arkham Knight's the one. What about a game that is more recent, something that came out in the last 12 months that either you totally skipped or like games you and I talk about all the time that we start but don't finish? What's a game within the last 12 months that you'd love to see wrapped up this summer?
I think Zelda's the one that I'd like to finish in the next couple of months. The reason I say it might take me a couple months is because I am not rushing it. I am trying to just enjoy it. I think the thing that I want to do the most, and the same thing I'm doing with The Witcher 3 on it, my second gameplay, is I'm trying to unlock like all the cool weapons and cool armor sets and all that stuff. So I would like to finish Zelda before summer ends. So when a certain game, or actually 2 certain games come out in August, I can kind of say I'm done with all my big stuff. I can clear my schedule and focus on these 2 experiences that we'll talk about a little bit later.
Okay, cool. Yeah, again, I'm kind of torn between a few different games. You know, I've talked about Neo. I have interest in Nier. I really want to play Mass Effect Andromeda. All of these would qualify, for this recent games released that I want to get, knock off the list. But I think I'm going to go with Dishonored 2. Okay. That is a game that I really have wanted to play for a while, and what better time than the summer when there's not a ton of, epic action RPGs with a stealth element that I always love in these games, why not play some Dishonored 2? I feel like that's the one that I would be excited to start and would probably hook me and keep me interested through an entire playthrough. So I think that's the one I would pick, even though there's a few others that that sound interesting. You sure you don't want Watch Dogs 2 as your pick?
Oh yeah, of course. I actually just
You don't
bought
want
the
Watch Dogs 2?
DLC. I just bought the DLC for Watch Dogs 2.
You're so excited. I know
It's
it's your favorite.
so good. That game's so good, dude. I can't even tell you. It's so good. It's like the Daniel Freitas of video games. So, yeah.
By the way, speaking of Watch Dogs 2, you know what's kind of funny? After just visiting San Jose and that San Francisco Mountain View area over there in the Bay of California, it's really interesting to see how much they tried to match up the style, the buildings, the landscape, some of the mountains. Even the company that they have in that game, I think it's called Noodle in that game. It's obviously a rip off of Google. And so we were able to go during this trip to the Google headquarters, and I was like, dude, they mapped a lot of what we saw in the Noodle headquarters in the game to the Google headquarters. They, of course, made it bigger and brighter and crazier, but it's pretty funny to see how they really took San Francisco, San Jose, the whole area, and turned it into a video game playground. But anyway, don't worry about it, Derek, because I know you will play it and you will love it. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great game. I hate that stupid piece of crap game. It's trash.
So, yeah, so if this summer I'm able to knock out Arkham Knight and Dishonored 2 off the backlog list, I'll feel really good about both of those because those are games that I really enjoy. At least Dishonored, I should say. I played Dishonored 1. I never did play Dishonored 2, but Arkham Knight I really enjoyed. I'd love to be able to get those off the list because I really like them. And I think
Now, with Arkham Knight, are you just gonna start it over, or are you gonna continue your playthrough? Do you still have that save?
I do. I think I'll just start it over. I'm not sure. I think I'll try to look at maybe a guide just to see how far into it. Like if I'm only 2 missions from beating it, I'll probably just jump in and finish it.
Yeah.
But if I'm, halfway or less, maybe I'll just restart it so I can get, reacclimated to the story. And because I kind of know the twist already, but I haven't gotten to that part in the game, so I'm not sure where that is in the game. So anyway.
Okay.
So there you go. Let's talk about games that are coming out this summer. By the way, warning, it's about to get super loud in here. My kids may even come over and poke their heads, and they're just now coming home with my wife. They were out for a little while. So
Oh, okay.
it could get loud. Okay, let's talk about games that are coming out June through August. Again, these are notable releases, not every single release. So if we're missing a game of yours, let us know about it and let us know why it's important to you for the summer. I really do want to hear from you. All right, so let's start with Dirt 4. The reason I brought this up is it's a pretty popular franchise.
Yeah.
This is the 4th entry. It drops on June 6th. I feel like the only one I've ever played was Dirt 2, and I really enjoyed it. And again, I'm not a big racing guy, but it was cool. It was flashy. It was fun to ride around the ATVs. Very cool game. What did you think about that series, and is this one you're interested in?
Normally, this would be one I would buy. I shouldn't say normally, but in the past. Shut up, Halo.
Halo.
Sorry, Eli, if I just logged you out. But normally I would have in the past bought this day one, but after buying Forza Horizon 3 and playing it 30 minutes, I'm not buying this. I still think Dirt, the franchise, is a fun franchise, but I'm just not in the mood for racing games right now. Like I said,
am I thinking of the right series, by the way, but with the ATVs, or is it more of like the off-road racing?
it's the off-road racing.
So it's not ATVs and motorcycles.
It's more like Forza Horizon type racing, but it's
the one
harder, way harder
Okay.
because it's more realistic.
Okay.
Forza Horizon is a lot of off-road racing, but it's real arcade, so it's real easy. Dirt is not easy at all.
Gotcha.
Not easy.
Okay. Yeah, that's not going to be one for me either this time around. I feel like maybe Dirt 2 was a Games with Gold or something. There was some reason I had access to a game in that series, and I was like, hey, this is fun.
There was 2 of them. There was Dirt 2, and then it was like Dirt Off-Road, like something else, but it was like one of the destruction ones where you just wreck each other. That was
They were
another one.
free at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I think that's a multi-platform game.
I will say
I'm
this.
correct. So
Dirt 3 is a VR game. I haven't investigated this, but if Dirt 4 is a VR game, I may get it at some point because I really have wasted, and I feel bad for my brother too. Like, he paid money for this VR headset, and neither one of us used it. Like, I have not had it hooked up in 6 months. It's been sitting in a box for 6 months. And
Totally worth it.
totally worth it. My brother and I did not just burn money. We made a good choice. So
No, you guys were spot on. I mean, VR is really taking off.
it's the future.
It's the future of gaming. Hey, VR is not gone, but it certainly hasn't taken off like people thought it would. It's kind of funny to me to see, just like with 3D, I think people overestimated the consumer's interest in this technology just yet. It hasn't yet become convenient enough for us all to be excited about it. It's just not. I mean, that's just the way it is.
That's the issue. Like they just, and I don't want us to sidetrack too much, but they just released, I think, a decent PlayStation VR game that I'm actually really interested in, and I would have bought it if it wasn't inconvenient to hook up my PSVR. And what I mean by that is, right now the only PlayStation console I own is the PS4 Pro. Now, the reason I own that is because I want my HDR, I want my 4K when they have 4K, but I want my higher resolutions, right? Well, if I hook up the PSVR to it, it blocks, and I talked to Sasan about this, and he says, yeah, it does this. It blocks you from being able to get HDR because of the way it's hooked up. So I'm not going to sit here and hook it up, disconnect it, hook it up, disconnect it every time I want to play a VR game. So for that reason, I did not buy the new release. What is it called? Farpoint, which actually
Farpoint. Yeah, that
yeah,
got good reviews.
it
Yeah.
reviewed decent, and the big thing that they said is that they said it's a fun game, and that the little gun that you use is actually a cool little tech piece that works really well. And so for that reason, I really wanted the game, but I'm like, no, I'm not until I get another PS4. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's an interesting discussion maybe for it might be like later on down the road if we hear something else about VR, just to find out what's the state of VR. Where are we? Where do we think it's going? Because that I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens next with that technology. It's not gone. I don't think it's going to go away. It's just I wonder what happens in terms of VR and gaming. If that's going to be a thing moving forward. We'll see. All right, so that comes out. Dirt 4 comes out on June 6th. Neither one of us really sounds like we're going to jump on that day one, but it is a cool series. And if you like racing, specifically off-road racing, there you go. There's a good game for you coming out here in about a week. On June 16th, right during E3, is ARMS from Nintendo. Is this a game? I know we talked about this, but is this a game that you see yourself getting anytime near release? At least let's say this summer. Do you see yourself getting this game this
I'm
summer?
gonna say for right now, I'm gonna get it at release, but I will say it's kind of more like a Surge type game, and that is I'm gonna wait for reviews, and if they say this is a really fun Nintendo game, then yes, I'll get it. If they're like Star Fox, where they're like the controls are a little iffy, it's okay, then no. I'm a big Star Fox fan, and I did not buy the Wii U Star Fox game because of all the complaints about the controls and it just not being that great of a game. So if ARMS is a average game, let's say a 7, a 6 or a 7, no. If it's an 8, 9, and everybody's talking about how great it is, yeah, I'll buy it.
I think Frank Clark might be the only person who enjoyed Star Fox on the Wii U, possibly.
Frank Clark is a Nintendo bot, so he likes anything done by Nintendo, whether he'll admit it or not.
I am planning on buying ARMS, like I talked about recently. ARMS and those yellow Joy-Cons, 100% plan on getting those. I'm kind of the opposite of you in terms of if the reviews come out and it's surprisingly bad, then I'll change my mind. I don't need to confirm that it's amazing. But if it comes out and the reviews are down in like the 4 and 5 or less range, then of course I'll skip it. But as long as it maintains a solid to great kind of rating, I'm still going to get it. It looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get that game and those Joy-Cons. So that's a yes for me. I don't know if that's the one game that I'm planning on, let's say, finishing this summer. That could be one that I get, and it's kind of like my Mario Kart. It's a multiplayer. The kids like it. I like it. It's a filler game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to my big summer game here shortly. 2 weeks after ARMS comes out, on June 30th, finally, as the people have been requesting, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is coming out, I believe, for right now, just on PS4. June 30th. Are you going to get the Crash Bandicoot Trilogy?
I have no interest in that franchise. No.
Did you play the originals? Any of the old ones? Any
I
versions
only
you got?
played the Crash racing, and then the little
Okay.
bit of the Crash games that I played on the PlayStation were stupid to me. So no.
There was a Easter egg in one of the Uncharted games. I won't say which one. That included a playable version of Crash 1.
And it was
Reminded
terrible.
me how bad that game is.
It's really bad.
So I know the follow-ups were considered to be better, but I am not interested in this at all. This isn't like Ratchet and Clank to me, where there was some charm there and there was some fun to be had there, and they made it look beautiful. To me, this looks okay. Everyone keeps saying it looks beautiful. I just maybe I'm missing it. I think it looks okay. It's an HD version of a game that I don't care about. So we'll see. We'll see if it turns out to be some amazing, epic platforming thing that they release. I just feel like it's going to be people with rose-colored glasses that are overrating this game as they look back at
There's
it.
a few people in our group that are huge fans, enjoy it. It's just not something I care about.
Yeah.
This next game is something I care about. but-
Yeah. About 11 days later, on July 11th, I guess it's 12 days later, Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age. So for those of you not familiar, Final Fantasy XII actually released, I want to say in like 2007, 2006 maybe? 2006, I think. Anyway, that released on the PS2, and it was a really cool-looking game. It was really pretty. It was the last Final Fantasy game of that generation before 13 came out on the next-gen systems. Very cool kind of MMO feel as you set up your party and you give them instructions before battle. It's all real-time battles as opposed to turn-based. Not everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone loved it. There was a lot that I liked about it, but before I could finish that game, I'd already kind of slowed down playing it, and then I ended up selling off all my PS2 stuff, which I still regret to this day, in order to buy a 360. I sold off all my games, my Guitar Hero stuff, my PS2, all my controllers. I wish I had kept all that stuff, but whatever. That comes out July 11th. Do you see yourself getting this game? And realistically, how much do you see yourself playing this game this summer?
See, and that's the problem. Again, in the past, I would have just bought it day one without even a thought process. But realistically, I don't know if I'll play it. The one thing that I will say that it has over other remasters is this is one of the Final Fantasies that I enjoyed but never finished. So I do want to play this game and like finish it because my memories of it is that it had a really cool story, like a really cool story, and it had a lot of characters I liked, and I got pretty far into it. I'm not at the end or anything like that, but I got pretty far. I invested a lot of hours, so I definitely want to play it. Will I buy it? Probably. I'm probably gonna buy a digital copy of that one.
Good. That means I get to play it.
Yeah.
That is a great example of a game, and I know some of you who don't own a Switch especially are tired of hearing this, so I'm sorry ahead of time. This is a game I'd love to have on the Switch. I would love a remaster of Final Fantasy 12, or really even like 10. I'd love that kind of game on the Switch, so I could play it on the go. I could kind of pause and resume later without taking up the whole TV. I would love some of these Final Fantasy remasters on the Switch. I don't think they're going to happen, but man, that would be great. I'm pretty sure this will stay a PS4 exclusive, although I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
Are you moving furniture? That's what it sounds like right now.
Yes, I'm trying to. I'm trying to get
Trying to
comfortable.
move some furniture. Okay. Coming up next is July 21st, is Splatoon 2. So the Switch has a major game in June. That's ARMS has a major game so far. It's been announced in July. That's Splatoon 2. Is this one you see yourself getting and playing this summer?
I'm gonna just say yes because I think all you guys are gonna hype it to the point where like, oh, let's play together. And we have consistently, at least I think the last 3 weekends, I've played Mario Kart at some point, not for long periods of time, mainly because I was getting my butt kicked last night and I was cussing a lot. But I'll probably end up buying it just to play with you guys. I imagine you'll be buying it, you little Nintendo bot.
I am actually leaning against buying this one right now.
The Switch bot is not going to get one of its major releases?
Hey, I have to be honest about games that I think are fun. And Splatoon 2, I did the test fire.
Yeah.
I played probably 7 or 8 rounds. And I realized I was probably going up against Wii U veterans. Okay, I understand that. But not only was I getting killed, I just wasn't having fun. I couldn't even figure out the controls before I would get killed and have to respawn again. I did not like the way it controlled. I was not having a lot of fun. It felt kind of, it didn't, I was expecting it to feel more like a fun, fast-paced kid first-person shooter, or at least third-person shooter, and it didn't have that feeling to me. It felt really stiff. It felt like the controls were like out of date. So I don't know what it was. I think maybe it's just an adjustment I have to make. I've been told by people, oh, the controls are tough at first. So maybe I would get better at it. But as of right now, I don't have a ton of interest in it. It didn't really grab me. I don't know. But I'm like you. Maybe I'll be convinced otherwise.
Yeah,
but right now, I'm
I
leaning
think
against
Frank
it.
Clark's gonna sell you on it. I think he's
He
gonna
might.
post about it a lot. He's gonna create a group. Oh, we gotta all play this, and Rudy will be part of that, and I think you'll buy it, and I'll
Yeah,
buy
you
it,
might be right. We'll see.
and we'll play it
We'll see.
twice, and be like, why did we buy this? This is dumb.
Well, I think that's true. I might get some peer pressure, but I might more realistically get a lot of kid pressure because my kids got to try out that test fire a little bit, and they just love the colorfulness and the characters. It looks like a cartoon brought to life, and you're shooting paint. And I very well could see myself being convinced by the kids to get it so we could play multiplayer.
Do know that Emily loved the first one, and she
Yeah,
played
I think
it
it's a good one to play with
for
the
a
kids.
while. And
Yeah.
it
So
had
maybe
like
that'd be the reason if I do.
and that's the thing I'm hoping for. And I haven't done any research, so I'm sure they've already announced this. But the first one had a campaign, but it was kind of bare bones. It was more like prepping you for multiplayer. I'm kind of hoping they'll just have like a fun, maybe put a little bit of a story to it, campaign for Splatoon 2. If they do, then that would be more of a selling point than, hey, this is 100% multiplayer game. Well, I'll play it a little bit. Like, I didn't buy Mario Kart 8 to just play with you guys. Sure, I'll play with y'all. But I bought it because I like Mario Kart 8 and I'll just play it by myself. So,
Yeah.
Splatoon has to be that. If Splatoon doesn't have that for me, something that I can go, hey, I'll play this by myself, then I don't see myself buying it. And that was like one of the things I will say. I know in the group there's a lot of people that are like, I bought this game to play with you guys or play with this person, and you guys never played it. I never do that. Like, all multiplayer games I buy for myself. I never buy them to play with Tim or play with my brother or anything like that. Because everybody's going to let me down or I'm going to let them down. I just buy something that I'm going to play for myself. Like, I have to want it. And then if I end up playing with other people, that's a bonus. So
that's part of adulting, man. I mean,
pro
it's
tip,
tough to
only buy stuff that you're going to play by yourself.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great call. Or stuff that you maybe know if you have kids or siblings in the house, whatever it is, that you know for sure you'll play together if it's a multiplayer focused thing. Because as great as it is, I love our community, and I love the times that we had some great Rocket League times and great Rocket League tournaments. And I still, in the back of my mind, I'm hoping that we can do some more Rocket League nights in the future. But the being realistic about how often we'll be able to do those kind of things, it's just not that easy to schedule, because when everyone says, hey, what are you doing this Friday? Let's all get together and play. People just start dropping off for valid reason after valid reason. It's the way it is. I mean, that's kind of why we started this whole podcast, was to talk about how we balance life as full-time. We're full-time workers. We've got families. We've got wives. We've got lives outside of gaming, and yet we still want to keep up with gaming. And that was the balance we're trying to strike. That's why we started this conversation, was that is not an easy balance to strike. And the first, for me at least, and it sounds like for you too, Derek, for me, the first thing that takes a hit when I have to start trimming some things back is online playing.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things that I end up backing off on. I want to keep doing my single-player stuff. I can usually squeeze that in because I can pause it whenever and all that. But when I'm playing online, there's like a commitment, an unspoken commitment you're making to people. Hey, yeah, I'll play for a little while. But if you have to step away, you feel bad. There's just some pressure there that you don't have when you're playing single player. So I don't know if that's what you feel too, but that's what I feel when I'm playing multiplayer. I feel like it's tough to interrupt it. I kind of have to shut out everything else. So anyway.
Yeah, and I just posted while you're talking. Yes, I was listening to you. I'll be on Rocket League tonight. You want to. So.
Ooh, a little Rocket League.
Yeah, after I get done recording with this guy.
If you guys are all still playing Rocket League, I definitely want to do some
Tim,
drop shot.
You're not getting on, Tim. You're not getting on.
Oh,
You're not.
That's rude.
You're not.
I will get on. By the time I get on, you'll be asleep. I'll probably start playing like at.
That was actually the other reason
like
why
11.
I stopped playing Mario Kart 8. I was getting pissed because you're ridiculously good, and it pisses me off. And what the freak, Brian Pelfrey? Oh, I just got the Switch, and I just got Mario Kart 8, and he's freaking destroying me the entire time. But anyways, So I was getting mad about that, but
Hey,
I was also really
Pelfrey and I
tired.
had some great matches. We came down to the wire on several
I
races.
beat you guys once, and then I finished in second once, and I think I knocked Pelfrey back. No, I knocked you back. I think I knocked you back to like
You knocked
fifth.
me back,
Yeah.
on the snow at the very end of the snow level. You knocked
Mhm.
me back, you jerk.
But other than that, I was like, even in one of them, I doubt you guys saw this, but I could have finished third, but I was so pissed that I lost you. I stopped at the finish line and let all
I
these
did.
cars pass me. And
I
then
didn't see that.
one of them hit me, and I ended up finishing in eighth, but I would have finished in third. But I was so pissed. I was like, I don't even care to finish. I'm just going to make them wait.
I did not notice that. I thought
Yeah.
it took you a while to finish. I didn't know you.
There
were
was a race that
purposefully
I
waiting.
finished eighth. That was the one. I stopped right at the line, and somebody hit me and knocked me through the line.
That is pretty funny. All right, let's keep moving through the list here. July 28th is one of the 3DS games. I kind of
No.
skipped a few other ones like RPG Maker,
No.
but Hey Pikmin comes out on July 28th. You're already saying no.
No, I love Pikmin 3 on Wii U. I 100% want Pikmin 3 to come to the Switch or another Pikmin. But besides Fire Emblem, I'm done with my 2DS, so no, don't get it.
So it's more about the system than it is the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think Hey Pikmin actually looks like a cool concept, like a 2D strategy version of Pikmin. I mean, it's still 3D graphics, but a 2D playing, whatever. It looks interesting.
Maybe.
but
I haven't looked at it at all. And
Okay,
I
I
did
watched some
love
videos of
Pikmin
it.
3, but
it looks like fun. It looks like a cool little strategy game with all the same personality that the original Pikmin games had. I'm with you. I wish it were on the Switch. I don't see myself buying it for the 3DS. With 3DS, the only other game I see myself buying might be Echoes, like you bought, although the things I've heard about it are that they take some steps back because it is an old school remake. I wonder, you'll have to wait and hear what you think about it. I wonder if it's going to be as fun for me.
it's hilarious that I've seen other like review sites kind of be a little bit harsher with this one, yet GameSpot, who's always harsh and stuff, gives it a 9 out of 10. I'm like, they're like, this is such a great Fire Emblem game. I'm like, gosh, GameSpot, you're so backwards. Seriously,
Well, they're
if
so
ever-
pretentious
yeah,
sometimes.
it's just so frustrating.
So I don't think I'll buy that one, but man, bring it to the Switch, and then I'll buy it.
Yeah.
All right, on August 15th. Now we're into what I consider to be the best summer month this year, and that's August. So we have, and this is without Switch stuff announced. I have a feeling that whether it's going to be Fire Emblem Warriors or maybe some kind of Wii U game is going to be brought out. I think the Switch is going to have something in August. We just don't know what it is yet. Hopefully we'll find that out soon. But what we do know is Agents of Mayhem, which I believe is part of the Saints Row universe. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah,
Or
well,
at least it's the same developers.
developer, yeah. But it looks like
So
would
it kind of
be-
had that vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
So that game does not look like that much fun to me, but if you're a Saints Row fan and like that kind of crazy, well, it's called Agents of Mayhem. So if you like that kind of crazy third-person, silly humor and lots of violence, yeah,
I'm
give it a
not
shot. Give it
a
whirl.
big Saints Row fan, but I did watch the I don't remember. I think it was past the initial trailer. I think there was like another release on kind of explaining what Agents of Mayhem is, and I actually was sold on it more. It gave me a Crackdown vibe to it because they're
Yes,
superheroes.
that's the game it looks like a little bit.
Yeah, and I was like, well, if I love Crackdown, and I'm definitely buying Crackdown 3, I should pay attention to this one because this might be one of them that I want. So this one for right now is a yes with the possibility of being a no just because if it's resembles Saints Row at all, like if it's more heavy on Saints Row than Crackdown, then it's a no. If it's more like a Crackdown, then it's a yes.
No, I'm a solid no on this one for right now.
Well, it's a solid yes for you because I'll probably buy it on the PlayStation.
Yes.
Unless
That's how you win,
Scorpio, unless Scorpio's releasing in August when we talk about this next game, which I'm
And then that's going to
still
be a Scorpio game.
still doing this that it will release in August.
All right. Well, here's one that I actually have pre-ordered, so you will have access to it, even though I'm pretty sure you'll buy some kind of like Uber edition where you actually get a live orc or whatever it is you're going to buy.
I will.
But Middle Earth Shadow of War comes out on August 22nd. I'm pre-ordering that thing. I think I got some special edition version. I set aside some money to make sure I could get that game. I think that Shadows of Mordor is a fantastic game to play, an okay game to experience for story and stuff. This one looks like they're doubling down on the fun to play. It looks like you can really raise your own army, and like a lot more strategy elements are being implemented. So I'm a little bit wary of them overdoing it, but I think as long as they have a similar nemesis system that's a lot of fun, or at least a similar system that makes each time you die even have some impact and makes you, gives you motivation to keep playing, I'm going to be so excited for this. Yes, this is a day one. It's pre-ordered. I pre-ordered it digitally on the PS4, so I'll have that one day one without a doubt.
Yeah, and
And you
I
will
plan
too.
on getting this one on the Scorpio.
Okay.
If it does not, like if the Scorpio is coming out in November, then I'll just play the PS4 Pro version. But it's definitely it's top 5 game that I've been hyped for this year, if not number 1. And so I'm really excited for it. I am a little still, and I said this before, a little nervous because it's definitely bigger than what the other one. And I'm not just talking about map size. I'm talking about like the amount of stuff that you have and can do in
It
this
seems
game.
very ambitious.
It seems very ambitious, and that could lose me, but it also could ultra hook me to me going, well, this is the greatest game I've ever played. So we'll see.
No,
It's got a lot
that's
going
the
on.
one game that I see myself getting day one, playing day one, and not letting go of until something like Red Dead 2 comes out. That's the kind of game that will,
I
just like
actually
Mad Max
took
did, and just like the first Middle Earth did. I see it totally occupying my time. So.
I actually took, or I requested August 22nd off, so I'm not even going to go to work. It's not worth it.
Smart man, because there's something else that's coming out that day, and that's Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Yes.
Now, this is not something I've pre-ordered, but it's not like Naughty Dog doesn't know how to make a great game.
You have it, because I have it.
Sweet. So Uncharted Lost Legacy, from what we've seen from the trailer, and I don't believe there's been anything else released other than the trailer and the release date. That is, it looks like Chloe and, is it Nadine from Uncharted 4?
Mm-hmm.
Chloe from Uncharted 2 mainly, and also a little bit in 3, and then she wasn't in Uncharted 4, but now it looks like she's back. I actually thought that was going to be the next Tomb Raider game reveal, as they were showing some girl undercover somewhere in the Middle East, sneaking through, taking guys out, trying to be real stealthy, and then when she takes her hood off, it's Chloe, and from Uncharted. So that's going to be interesting to see those two working together. That looks like it'll be a lot of fun. I assume it's going to be a lot of fun. So that one is one that now that I have access to it, thank you, Derek, I totally plan on playing that one. Don't know that I'll, fly through it because I'll be playing Middle Earth as well, but that's one I'll definitely play. So,
Yeah.
and you already gave us your answer.
Yeah, I'm definitely, obviously getting it. I actually got a really good deal. Best Buy was selling the season pass for Uncharted 4. I think it was $25. Whereas this game alone is $40, I believe. So I bought it. So I have all the season pass stuff for Uncharted 4 because they were selling it cheaper when they announced this game.
And this is part of the season pass, right?
Yep, it's part of the season pass. So
Nice.
I have it.
Very cool. That's August 22nd. And then the last game that I'll point out that's dropping in August, on August 25th, brand new franchise, you probably never heard about it, is Madden NFL 18. It's a brand new indie franchise. I'll tell you what, EA, I know you're listening, EA. I know you listen every week to our podcast. I'll make you a deal, EA. If you figure out a way to bring back NCAA football, I promise you I will also buy Madden football. So bring back NCAA, and I will also purchase Madden. So there you go. You got a double purchase if you'll bring back NCAA. I don't care if you have the real players. Just bring me some college football back, please. Please, 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 please. But no, that's a no for right now until they bring that back.
Apparently there's like a story mode in this. So if there is, and again, I know nothing about this, I'm just speculating. If they go the route of what NBA 2K did, there could be a possibility that they get a contract with like 8 to 10 major college football schools, and then have your players start in high school, and then you choose your college, which is what I did in NBA 2K16. I chose the University of Michigan. Then I did another playthrough and chose the University of Connecticut. So it had my two favorite college schools. So if they have like the University of Michigan, I think that would be really cool to be able to create, Derek Teague, and then go through high school and then play at the University of Michigan and then get drafted into the NFL. That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. Still not going to buy it because I want my NCAA. But you're right. That does sound more intriguing than a standard Madden situation. All right. Well, that does it for this summer. We want to hear from you guys, so let us know. We'll probably put a question up in the group. What are you playing this summer? What are your plans? What games that are dropping this summer do you plan on buying? And then here in the near future, we'll be asking for all your predictions for E3. That's coming up here in just a couple weeks. So thanks for listening. Derek, thanks for taking time. Thank you guys for bearing with me while I make this move. That's why we had to split this episode. And so it's a little bit kind of sparsed out. That's okay. But I appreciate your patience. And we will be back next week to talk E3 preview stuff. So Derek, thanks a lot, man. Maybe I'll see you on Rocket League, huh?
Yeah. Probably not.
If you're still up at 1 a.m. your time, you'll see me on there.
All right. And suck it, DFC.
Who is your daddy? I am your father.
You fathers will understand.
My father taught me many things.
I got an idea. How about you all sit there quietly while I make dad noises?